Excel lets you create many types of conditional formats, and it gives you many ways to manage those rules. For example, in Excel 2003 and earlier, each cell could have up to 3 conditional formatting rules applied to it. What's more, only one of those rules could be applied at the same time. When Excel discovered that one rule was true, it simply stopped checking. In Excel 2010, there is no practical limit to the number of conditional formatting rules you can apply to a cell. It's also possible for more than one conditional formatting rule to be applied at the same time. So let's say that you have applied a number of conditional formatting rules to your pivot table, and you want to go in and manage how they are applied. To do that, click any cell in the body of the pivot table, and then on the Home tab, click Conditional Formatting, and then at the bottom of the menu that appears, click Manage Rules. When you do, the Conditional Formatting Rules Manager appears, and it lists each of the formats you've created. The first thing you should do is ensure that you're working with the rules applied to the pivot table. To do that, you can look at the value in the Show Formatting Rules For box, and in this case it does say this pivot table. If you click the down arrow, you can see the other options, which are the current selection, this worksheet, this pivot table, which is currently selected, and then either Sheet 2 or Table 1. So all those are options, and in this case, this pivot table is selected, and it's correct. So I'll click outside of the list to close it. In Excel 2003 and earlier versions, the program stopped checking conditions when it found one that was true. Excel 2010 doesn't stop checking conditions unless you tell it to. So for example, if you want Excel to stop checking conditions if a particular condition is true, you can check that condition's Stop If True box. So for example, let's say that if the cell value is greater than 110, and you wanted Excel to stop checking after that, then you could check the Stop If True box. In this case, I don't want to make that change, so I'll clear the box, but it's there if you wanted it. You can also change the order in which Excel applies these rules. So let's say, for example, that I have the bottom rule here, which is called Top 7. So what it does is it finds the top 7 monthly sales values within the pivot table, and then it formats the number within that cell as bold and italicized. So now let's say that you want Excel to check that rule first. To do that, you can click the rule to select it, as I've done, and then click the Move Up arrow, and I'll move it to the top of the list. So we have 1, 2, and 3 clicks, and then that has moved to the top of the list. If you want to move a condition down, then you can click the condition and click the Move Down button. So now let's say that Excel has discovered a value that's in the top 7, and I only want it to apply this formatting as opposed to the color fill down below. Now I can check the Stop If True box, and then click OK. When I do, Excel reapplies the conditional formats as I edited them. You see that the top 7 values in the pivot table, which include 130, 140, 128, and so on, don't have a color fill as the other cells do. Instead, they simply have their text in bold and italic type. Managing conditional formats is a little complicated, but that's the price you pay for a lot more flexibility. If you take the time to work with your rules, you'll discover many benefits to the additional visualizations offered by Excel's conditional formats.